Hi everyone, my name is Janette, but you guys can call me Janette or MJ because I'm not a big fan of Maria. So in this video we're going to talk about compassion. So what is compassion, you ask? Compassion is what we feel when we see a person, another animal, or a creature suffering, and we feel compelled or we feel like an urge to want to help them out and relieve or take away some of that pain, some of that suffering, right? But I want to get into self-compassion. And self-compassion is when you feel all those things for yourself, when you are the person who is suffering or going through something, and you show yourself that kindness, and you feel the motivation or the urge to help yourself and alleviate some of that suffering, right? And I think that, sorry if I'm looking down, I have some notes on here, but I think that it's very easy for most of us to show compassion to other people and not to ourselves. A lot of times we can be very harsh to ourselves, right? We for example, if you had a goal and your goal was to train for the marathon and run a marathon, right? And you started training, and you got your first 5K done, but somewhere along the line you stopped. And you don't know why. Maybe you were not feeling motivated or whatever the reason was, right? You stopped and you no longer continued. The biggest critic in that situation would be yourself. You would, most likely it happens to most of us, right? Most of us would start thinking oh, you're such a failure, you're such a quitter, why didn't you go through? And we let those negative thoughts dictate or tell us who we are, and we tend to believe them, right? But we shouldn't. We should not believe those thoughts. We shouldn't believe those words, those negative thoughts that we hear, that we tell ourselves about who we are, because that's not who we are, right? Or sometimes they're not necessarily your words, they're words that you hear from other people, right? You hear negative words from other people about who you are, and that necessarily doesn't define you either. That is not who you are. I think that what we have to understand, right, is that we are all struggling with something. We are all working towards a goal. We are all learning. And this process is different for every single person, right? We're all trying to do something different, right? We're all, maybe some of us have goals where we want to, learn a new skill, or I don't know, I love to sing, have a better voice, or for some of us it's weight loss, for some of us it's better healthy habits, for some of us it's waking up early, for some of us it's learning skills to acquire or attain a better job, whatever it is that we're learning, right? And we are all on this journey, and we are all learning how to do these things, because we were not born knowing how to do them. We are going through life, and we are learning this through life. Life is our school, right? Understanding, right, that we are all struggling, it does not mean that we should accept our failures and just give up, oh, well, I'm never going to be good at this, or I'm never going to be able to do this, or I'm never going to, whatever your never is, right? Don't accept that. The point is to understand that it's human nature to fail, right? To know that it's okay to fail, it's not wrong, but also to keep moving forward, to keep working towards those things, to keep building those better habits or better discipline, or keep practicing, I don't know, for whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe you want to learn an instrument, I don't know. Whatever it is that is for you, like, keep working towards that. Don't accept failure and just give up. Now with the topic of we are students, like I said, we are students and life is, our teacher. We should be willing to learn from everyone. Like, don't think that just because someone is young, they can't teach you, or because someone is too old and they're not from your generation, they can't teach you. Like, we can learn something from everyone. I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I'm constantly learning something from them. Like, just their view of the world inspires me sometimes, so we should all be willing to learn from everyone, and learn good things, not bad things, please. I know that there is people out there that could be like bad influences, so be wise to whom you learn from. I want to learn things that will get you into trouble. Okay. So now, since we are talking about self-compassion, I think it's very important to learn how to show ourselves compassion. And I'm going to give you 5 steps that you can do when you find yourself in a situation that you need to show yourself some compassion. Or maybe just, apply it for someone else. This is totally applicable to everyone. So the first one would be to take a deep breath and to turn down the negative thoughts, the negative words that you fear are coming to your mind and that want to tell you or that want to define you. Just turn them down. Automatically, just stop them at their tracks. Say no, that it's not who I am, The second step, after you've taken a deep breath and you've said, like, no, I'm not accepting that, remind yourself that you are learning, that you are a student, and that making mistakes is to be expected. Failing is to be expected. So step number 3 is to replace those negative thoughts, those negative words, those harsh thoughts that come to you that want to define you. Replace them with something good. Like, for example, if you just say you had like sorry, I had something in my eye. Let's just say you have a scenario where, like I said, go back to the marathon example, right? You did quit. You didn't continue for whatever the reason was. And now you have these thoughts in your mind that keep telling you, oh, well, you're such a quitter. You're such like a loser. You're never going to do it. Stop. I am not a quitter. I am not a loser. And, and replace those. Tell yourself, like, okay, I am a student. I am learning. I've never run a marathon before, so I'm going to take the baby steps that I need to take in order to get there. And I can do this. I will do this. I am going to complete this 26, mile marathon. I'm going to do it. Whatever those words are for you, right? But find some to counter attack the negative thoughts that come to you with some positive ones, some kind words. And step 4 is to remind yourself that there is always an opportunity to succeed as long as you don't give up. Like I said in the example of the marathon, you can do this, and nothing stops you from, hopefully, nothing stops you from going to do it. The only person in your way is you. Like, if you want to run a marathon, and I don't know why I'm sticking to the marathon example. I don't know. Maybe because I don't even know if it's that common for people to want to run a marathon. But, okay. So whatever it is to you, maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to, read a book from start to finish in a week. Whatever your goal is, maybe you want to read the Bible in a year or sooner than a year, whatever the goal is, as long as you don't give up, there is always the opportunity for you to complete it. Even if instead of, your goal was to, read a book in a week, but it took you a month. So I really don't know. Something's wrong with my eye. Okay. Sorry. There's like something in my eye, but okay. Back to step 4. So yeah, as long as, your example was if you want to read a book in a week, but you finish it in 2 weeks or maybe a month, like, celebrate because you completed it. Maybe you didn't do it in a week, but you did it. You did it. It took you a month, but you did it. You finished it. You read the book from start to finish, right? Maybe the next thing you can work on would be to, actually, maybe instead of, taking you 2 or 3 weeks or a month, maybe it takes you, if it took you a month, then maybe it can take you 3 weeks, and then cut that time shorter and shorter. And that's how you progress to your initial goal, right? Which was to read a book in a week. Take baby steps to get there. And then the 5th step that you should do to show yourself some compassion is to love yourself. And I don't mean like love yourself in a selfish way, right? I'm not telling you to love yourself in a way where you become an arrogant person and you feel like you're better than everyone else. No, I'm telling you to love yourself in a way that you would love a person that you truly care about. Like when you love someone, you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to fail them. You don't want to disappoint them, right? You respect them. Okay, so love yourself in that way. Love yourself with that respect. Love yourself with that intent to not disappoint. Love yourself with that kindness and caring being, right? And I think that's it. That was 5. Because like I said at the beginning of this video, it's very easy for us to show kindness to other people, but it's very hard to show it to ourselves. We're oftentimes the biggest critics of ourselves. So I'll leave you with this quote. Instead of mercilessly judging and criticizing yourself for various inadequacies or shortcomings, self-compassion means that you're kind and understanding when confronted with personal failings. After all, whoever said that you were supposed to be perfect? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And I hope that you guys will be joining me next Friday for a new video. Thank you. Bye.